The truth is, and hello and welcome everyone on this early Sunday morning, that Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator out of South Carolina, has passed away. And that is a true story, is a fact. It's been reported by many news media outlets, including the New York Times, including CNN, including the Associated Press. It's really true. And his passing at the age of 71 was described in an official statement that can be seen on his account on X as Lindsey Graham passing away from a brief and sudden illness. That is how the statement was worded. And of course, the family of Lindsey Graham asks for privacy. It's a staggering piece of news and really stunning news. But I just had to jump on here for a few moments to share that with you, just in case you were not aware of this. I want to thank everybody for coming on. Adam, thank you. Adam says, "Good morning, Omar. Congrats to England." Thank you, Adam. I really appreciate that. I didn't believe it either until I just turned on the news, Adam says, about Lindsey Graham. Jennifer Hall, hello to you as well. Here, Jackie Kerr has said hello, hello. Barbara Parr and Deanna and Judith Dolan, thank you all for joining, and others of you who have come in. It's great to have you here. I know it's very late. Jacqueline Greer and Akbar and Deborah Davis and Aaron, Aaron and Susan Hanson, all of you welcome, and thank you very much for being here. I know it's very, very late. You may be on the East Coast of the United States, or you may be further afield or farther afield than that, or you may be here on the West Coast here in California, where it's just after 12 midnight on early Sunday morning, July the 12th. And it's a stunning piece of news. Jackie Kerr says, "Hello, I'm reeling. What the fuck?" Jackie says, "WTF" are her words in a question mark. And Jackie, I'm the same as you. I couldn't believe it when I saw that on my phone. As I was saying, Jackie, and everyone else watching, I was just finishing editing a fairly lengthy essay that I'll be releasing a little later on this morning. I'm not going to say what it is about, but when it comes out, you will see it. And I do hope you read it. And then this alert came up on my phone. Lindsey Graham dead. I was like, what? I honestly thought that this was a joke. I really did. And the Wall Street Journal is now reporting the same thing. He has died after a brief and sudden illness. Goodness knows what that might be. Maybe we will eventually find out about what that might be. But this is so incredible. Where did this come from? And of course, as Jackie said, and I was just going to get to this, Jackie, what we know about Mitch McConnell or don't know about Mitch McConnell, she writes, "We've been hyper focused on Mitch." Yeah, many of us have said, what on earth is going on with Mitch McConnell? Is he here? Is he there? Is he gone? Is he dead? Is he brain dead? What the hell is going on with him? And now to find out that Lindsey Graham has in fact died. Whoa. And listen, you can say what you want about Lindsey Graham, and Lord knows I have. But this is stunning news. It really is. It just goes to show you that tomorrow is promised to nobody. And I've said this over and over and over again. Time is precious. Time is urgent. You never know how much of it you have. We do not know on this planet how much time we've got, which is why we have to treasure our time. We cannot waste it. We cannot allow other people to waste our time. We must be judicious in that. You never ever know. Wow. I'm going to read out some of your comments here. Judith Dolan. Well, let me go back a little bit further than Judith. Judith, I'll read out your comment in a moment. Jackie Kerr, as I read that one out about being hyper focused about Mitch. Shelby Schneider, good morning to you, Shelby. A. Aaron writes, "I was thinking about Mitch for a second till it sank in." Thank you, Aaron, for your comment. Judith Dolan writes, "Shocking news about Graham." I second that emotion, Judith. Absolutely shocking. And for me right now, this is not the moment, at least for me, to go into Graham. We know there are a lot of things about Graham that we didn't like. Graham, at one point in 2015, we know that he was fervently against Donald Trump until he wasn't. And we know all about that, and that will all be talked about and digested. But really, at this point, I'm just reacting to the news. Again, I've just heard this in the last 20 minutes. And the statement that was released on Lindsey Graham's X account as Senator Graham's X account, because that's what it is, that came out about 51, 52 minutes, just under an hour ago. And I've posted it on my Substack in full as is, as it appeared on Lindsey Graham's X account in the last hour. It's just unbelievable. Goodness knows what that was, what the illness is. Sudden, brief, and sudden. There's going to be a lot of speculation, obviously, around that. But obviously, there's going to be political ramifications around this. You've got a midterm election coming and all the rest of it that's going to be coming in literally just under 4 months from now. And my goodness, doesn't this put the cat amongst the pigeons? What shocking news this early morning. Literally, in the last hour, this news has come out. And it is indeed true. This is not some hoax. This is not the news. Remember when the news came out about Samuel Alito supposedly saying that he was going to resign? And remember, within 5 minutes, NPR rubbished that story that they had put out. Nina Totenberg came out and said, no, this is not a true story about Justice Alito resigning or retiring. That's not happened. But this has happened in a very, very unbelievable set of events. We're now hearing that Republican U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina has died after a brief and sudden illness, according to a statement from Graham's family and reported by the Wall Street Journal, CNN, and also the New York Times and many other outlets. Now, we're all shocked by this news, all of us. Lindsey Graham was only 71 years of age. And we've seen in the last few days, fellow Substackers, a number of really stunning stories of people passing away. Um, there was a news broadcaster in England from Sky News who passed away just yesterday on Saturday. There was the stunning news of a British MP being murdered, former MP being murdered in her home just a couple of days ago, or a few days ago. There was the story, of course, of Nolan Wells. We will follow that, and I'll be talking a lot more about Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old brother who was obviously, well, I mean, it was turned up dead, but you know there was something more nefarious to that. We'll be following that story and continuing to talk about it. Don Lemon's talked about it. Joy Reid's talked about it. And so you've had these stunning, and also Bonnie Tyler, the singer, who passed away also last week. So you had all these stunning and very, really sad stories of people passing away. And this one is a really stunning story. Lindsey Graham, my goodness, passing away at the age of 71. Let me read out your comments. Hello, says Shelby Schneider. Hello to you, Shelby. Jackie Kerr writes, I saw it on Twitter and people were being less than complimentary, so I also thought it was a joke. Thank you for confirming the news here where it is 3:10 a.m. Jackie, yes, on the east coast of the United States. Indeed. Thank you for that, Jackie. Lisa has said hello to us. No way, says Lisa. Yes way, Lisa. This really has happened, or as to quote Michael Moore in his film Fahrenheit 9/11, it really happened. Yeah, he is no longer with us. Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator out of South Carolina, has died at age 71. And again, the press release that was issued on X, on his Twitter account, says it was a, quote, brief and sudden illness, unquote. Staggering and shocking news. And I do send my condolences to the Graham family. I don't have to agree with Graham's politics to have a little bit of humanity and a little bit of compassion and say, my condolences do go out to the Graham family. I am fully capable of actually saying that and empathize and meaning it. It's a stunning piece of news. It really is shocking. It's one of those pieces of news where you just really have to go, hang on a minute. Is that really true? And many of you in this forum this morning have expressed the very same thing. I can tell you that more than 30 years ago now, or just almost 30 years ago now, I was in New York, and it was August of 1997, near the end of the month of August, where I will never forget. I was watching CNN at the time when I used to watch CNN. At the time, Lyndon Souls, one of the broadcasters, anchors on CNN late at night, said that Princess Diana of Wales had died. And I just could not believe that. And I'm not comparing these two people because Princess Diana was actually a really nice, decent human being. But when I heard that news almost 30 years ago, my hair literally stood on end. The hairs just popped out of my skin. I just could not believe what I was hearing. And my brain couldn't believe it either. And this moment with Lindsey Graham and the news about him is hitting me in a similar kind of way, just in terms of the shock of it all. So I just want to read your comments now about this and your reaction to this. I think it's wrong that people, I mean, why would I be surprised? Why would I be surprised on X? Or should I say, why would I not be surprised to hear that on X, people are saying some horrible things? You know, you might not have liked Lindsey Graham, and you might not have liked his stands on a lot of things, including Israel, et cetera, but that doesn't mean that you should say nasty things about him now that he's gone. I mean, there are going to be people in the world that you might say nasty things about when they go. Um, but again, I just think that's not good. I do not think that that's a good thing. I took the same stand around Charlie Kirk, as odious and as racist and as evil as he was. I was not gleeful when he was killed last year. And now here we are with Lindsey Graham, my God, passing away at the age of 71. God knows what's happened with Mitch McConnell. Um, yeah, this is a really stunning piece of news. I'm going to read out your comments now. Judith Dolan writes, the GOP is missing two senators at this time. Lisa writes, OMG, that's awful. Lisa writes, but oh my, that changes everything in the world, writes Lisa. Lisa, thank you for your comment. Judith, thank you for yours. Shelby Schneider writes, heartbreak, Nolan Wells. Exactly. I'll be talking about Nolan Wells, Shelby, in the next day or two. I've already talked about Nolan Wells on the Politicrat podcast that I do. I spoke about him in the Friday's episode of the podcast and also on Thursdays, and I will continue to speak about Nolan Wells and to talk about Nolan Wells and to seek the truth and the facts regarding his death, because definitely I think there's a great deal to be suspect about regarding his death. And of course, those white boys that he, that were supposedly his friends. And I'll be talking about that. Don Lemon's talked about it and reported on it. So please make sure you stay tuned to Don Lemon and to Joy Reid and to yours truly, because I'll be talking a lot more about that on the Politicrat. And please subscribe here to yours truly, whether by paid subscription or free subscription. It'd be greatly appreciated because I give away for paid subscribers free prizes, obviously. But if you're not a subscriber here, please become one. It'd be greatly appreciated. But let me read out the rest of your comments. And hello, Victoria. Hello, Stacy. Hello, Michael Catlett and Christopher Grassi. Thank you for joining on this early Sunday here on the West Coast of the United States. Those of you on the East Coast of the United States, good morning to you as well. It is now just after 3:18 a.m. on the Sunday morning here, Sunday, July the 12th, 2026. Absolutely stunning news. I'll just stick around for a couple more minutes. Absolutely stunning. I'm here, literally, I was here finishing off editing and continuing to edit a fairly lengthy essay that I will be putting forth and releasing later on this morning here on Substack, and then to have my phone ping with this alert from the New York Times, it just seemed really surreal with this news about Lindsey Graham. It just seemed, it really did, when you look at news like that, because you just really think that's a joke, even from an established outlet like the New York Times. You literally have to do a double take and go, hang on a minute, you're pulling my leg, right? Lindsey Graham, really? You're pulling my leg. You're having a laugh, mate. There's no way that Lindsey Graham's died. And then you find out, goodness gracious, he really has gone. You go to all the networks, even the ones that I don't watch, just to get some confirmation that you are not dreaming. And you're not dreaming. He has passed away. Same thing. You go on his social media account on X, and again, I've put that statement up on my Substack, and it's just absolutely unreal. It really is. Christopher Grassi, thank you for joining. Cynthia, thank you for joining. All of you, thank you for joining. Um, very early in the morning, thank you for your commitment and your abiding support. I know it's very, very early in the morning on the East Coast. It's very, very late here on the West Coast, here in California. And in a few minutes, I'm going to say goodbye. Um, Obviously, there's going to be a lot said about the midterms and about how this affects all of that. And I'll leave others to get into that. I think really the purpose and the point of me coming on here, this very, very early time in the morning on this Sunday, is to just react to this news, and digest this news. I think coming on here um, to you and with you is a way to just sit here with this for a second or two. You know, um, there are some people who, when you hear about them passing away, you're not surprised because you probably heard perhaps about some health challenge that they had, or they were up in age, et cetera, et cetera. So it doesn't come as a real shock to you, but this comes as a real shock to me. There was nothing, at least that I know of, and maybe you know something different, dear Substacker, nothing that suggested that Lindsey Graham had some severe health issue or some health difficulty or was undergoing some kind of problem. There was no hint of it. Nobody knew, at least that we know of, knew that Lindsey Graham had some kind of brief and sudden illness. But obviously his family knew, and maybe some people perhaps close to the seats of power, if you will, in Washington, D.C., may have had some notion. I don't really want to go down the speculation route, even though I've just done that. Um, but this is staggering. It really, really is staggering. And really, there's not really much else to say, as you might be able to hear a siren in the background here in this very early morning hour of Sunday, July the 12th, here in California, here in San Francisco specifically. And wherever you are, please take care, and please look after your health. I think I don't know what happened to Lindsey Graham, particularly what the illness was. I would expect and hope that we would learn in the coming hours and days what this quote unquote brief and sudden illness was that took his life. God knows. I don't want to speculate on any of that. Hopefully, we will find out what that is. But I think this is yet another reminder to those who are watching this live, and to those who come across this Substack video later on and will be completely shocked when they wake up later on in the morning to learn, and to have learned, that Lindsey Graham, the Republican senator out of South Carolina, the U.S. senator out of South Carolina, has died at age 71 from a brief and sudden illness. To please get yourself checked. you know I know that there's obvious problems with healthcare in the United States. I know that healthcare is a real problem here, and it can be very expensive here. And we have the big BS bill that is just over a year old that has made it harder to cover a lot of people with health coverage under the Affordable Care Act, et cetera, because subsidies have now been gone from their federal subsidies. But I really think it's very important to check your health, get checked. For women, please do breast exams, do self-examination, self-examinations of your breasts. This is really important. Breast cancer, you know, um, please examine for lumps. This is very, very serious. In fact, I saw a story recently about Asian women becoming the fastest growing group to get breast cancer diagnoses. That was a story that was a local story here in San Francisco, saying that there's a rise in breast cancer diagnoses for Asian women, particularly Chinese and Vietnamese women. Black women suffer from breast cancer at fairly high instances as well, and incidences as well. For men, please check your prostate. Please get a PSA test. Please make sure you do self examinations for your testicles, testicular cancer, prostate cancer. Please get a PSA test for your prostate. Please do a colonoscopy. These are extremely important tests that you really, as a man, need to do. Your health is everything. And I want to reiterate, uh, healthcare in this country is a mess. And yes, it's very, very expensive at times. I am just saying to you that your health is everything. And I don't know what happened in Lindsey Graham's situation. Obviously, he had very good health care. But the news that this was a brief and sudden illness really gives you pause. It really does. So, what I want you to do before I sign off here, as I get ready to sign off, is to take care of your health. And please, please do the things that are going to keep you healthy. Use, um, just use discretion, you know? Um, Stay away from the things that aren't healthy for you. I'm not going to tell you what to do and what not to do, but what I am going to tell you, dear viewer, is to be really careful. Guard your health zealously. Thank you for joining us, Pope of Ginza, Remitus, and many others of you who have joined live as I am coming to you. And those of you who watch this video later, thank you very much for doing so as well. Please subscribe to my Substack. Become a paid subscriber. I do give away lots of gifts to paid subscribers. I will be resuming those giveaways in the next few weeks, so please stay tuned for that. If you are someone who cannot afford a paid subscription, please do become a free subscriber. That would be greatly appreciated. And also, please do subscribe, or I should say, please do donate to Nolan Wells's GoFundMe page, his official GoFundMe page, Nolan Xavier Wells, regarding all of that. So please do. That 18-year-old brother who is no longer with us, who was found dead in Mississippi early last week, I think on July the 6th, which was a Monday. Adam W. says, thanks, Omar. Stay safe, my friend. Thank you, Adam. You too. Michael Catler says, thank you, Michael. And Adam says, get some rest before Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday's semifinal in the World Cup, in the Men's World Cup between England and Argentina. I will certainly be doing that, Adam, gearing up for what is going to be, there's two great semifinals, one on Tuesday between France and Spain, the one on Wednesday, of course, between England and Argentina. Man, oh man, these two games, incredible stuff. And we will see how all that turns out. Adam says we need our strength for the next big game. Absolutely. That is coming up, Adam, on Wednesday, and of course the one on Tuesday as well between France and Spain. But I do want to reiterate, folks, as I sign off here, please take care of your health, all right? I know a lot of people, a lot of men and a number of women are afraid to go to the doctor. And listen, there's some reasons for that. Obviously, a healthcare system that will scare you to go there because of the expenses. And also, look, people that just have a phobia of going to the doctor because they are afraid of what the doctor might find. And there are people who would rather not know their health situation than know it, because obviously that would put them in a very serious state of economic affairs and otherwise. And so there are lots of people in the United States, because of the for-profit healthcare system that we have, who would rather not know what they may have. And it's a sad thing, but that is what many of us are reduced to. But I really urge you folks to please get checked. Please. I don't care who you are, especially again for men, whether it's testicular, whether it is prostate, whether it is colonoscopies, please get those done. And women too, colonoscopies, very important. And breast cancer screenings, very, very important. Self-examinations of your breasts, very, very important. I'm saying this very seriously, that must be the order of the day. I say that as a reminder. And again, the news tonight, or I should say early this morning, is true that the Republican U.S. Senator out of South Carolina, Lindsey Graham, has died at the age of 71 to a, quote, brief and sudden illness, unquote, according to the statement put forth in the last hour or so on the X account of Senator Lindsey Graham. Staggering, shocking news. And I do seriously send my condolences sincerely to the family of U.S. Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. I really do. And I mean that sincerely. It's horrible when something like that happens, no matter what I think about Lindsey Graham and his politics. Something like this is really shocking. So I just wanted to say that. JN says, thank you, Omar. JN, you are welcome. I will leave you now with that news once again. And you've seen it now all over the place. And those of you who watch this later will have known this by the time you do watch this, that U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham has died at the age of 71. Unbelievable news. Unbelievable news. Of course, there'll be a lot more to say. Many people will be saying it across social media and beyond, of course, and in the real world as Sunday begins to unfold and beyond. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Shelby Schneider, thank you, Shelby writes, for this reporting this morning, and absolutely regarding taking care of our health. You too. Thank you, Shelby. That's very important and much appreciated from you. Jackie Kerr writes, thank you so much for this live, Omar. Sleep well, be well, chat community. Thank you, Jackie, for your words as well. The same to you. That is it from here on this very early Sunday morning. It's now 12:31 a.m. Pacific time in the United States, which means it's now 3:31 a.m. Eastern time in the United States of America. I am Omar. Please subscribe here. And I am signing off from this Substack Live. Please take care of yourselves. And again, check your health and please get some sleep. We'll see you again in about 8 hours. I'll be doing another Substack Live here. Sundays with Omar at 8 a.m. Pacific time this morning, Sunday, July the 12th. So I'll be talking about the essay that you will have seen by the time I release it later on. So please come back at 8 a.m. Pacific time this morning for Sundays with Omar. Until then, take good care and get a good night's sleep. Thank you very much, everyone, and be well. Take care now.